Hey guys, how's it going? And a few months ago, I and the coaster Josh went through the Cedar Fair chain, and we both predicted what coaster will be removed from each park. And this video will be similar, but this time I'm doing Six Flags, that's right, the discount chain. And I've also invited a special guest on today's video. You probably already know him, but his name is CoasterCraziness, and if you haven't heard of him, I would totally recommend checking his channel out. I have a link in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into this video.
Six Flags! More flags! More fun!
Before we start, if you're new here, I would totally recommend hitting that subscribe button. It helps out a lot and it'll be very well appreciated. But with that said, let's get into it. Okay, we're gonna start with the biggest Six Flags park and arguably the best Six Flags park. And that is Six Flags Magic Mountain in California. And sorry Airtime Thrills, but my guess is that Viper will be removed in the near future. This coaster is an old Aero Mega Looper, and these type of coasters are falling left and right, with Vortex leaving and Anaconda's probably going to get demolished in the near future. So it doesn't look too good for this old classic Aero Mega Looper at Six Flags Magic Mountain. It's kind of sad because I've actually heard some pretty good stuff about this roller coaster, and the park does kind of take care of it a lot. But once again, this is an old, outdated roller coaster. It's extremely hard to get parts for, and the GP isn't really a huge fan of it, so that's why Viper is on this list.
Six Flags Great Adventure is one of the top Six Flags parks. This has a big lineup of coasters, and there's really only one of those that I see leaving anytime soon: Green Lantern. This coaster doesn't make much sense compared to the rest of Great Adventure's lineup, plus the extinction of the stand-up coaster is coming very soon, and this is one of the ones I see leaving the soonest. No other coaster in the park I actually even see leaving within the next 5 years. Green Lantern just sticks out when talking about future ride removals, and I think they could replace it with something awesome.
Alright, now for Six Flags Great America. And at first, I thought it'd be pretty easy, but now it's kind of getting hard. Let's first talk about American Eagle. And this coaster is rumored to get the RMC treatment, but if you ask me, that's probably not going to happen. I mean, they already have Goliath, which is another RMC coaster. Even though RMC American Eagle would be pretty cool, I don't see it happening. But this coaster is still likely to get demolished and have a new coaster come in its spot. And then there's Vertical Velocity, the Intimate Impulse coaster. And if you ask me, this could definitely be the next coaster to leave, because compared to the other launch coaster, Max Force, Vertical Velocity looks a little outdated, and I think it's time to say goodbye to this coaster and have it be relocated to a smaller Six Flags park, but that's just my opinion.
Six Flags Fiesta Texas is my home park, and I've been going there since at least 2017. This one is between two rides, Boomerang and Pandemonium. Although I'd say the choice is pretty obvious, I do want to break it down just a little bit more and not just say it's this one. Boomerang is in a small plot of land, and it just got some track work done, plus a repaint. It really doesn't make sense that they'd remove it soon. However, I do think that it's in danger of leaving relatively soon. Pandemonium, on the other hand, sits in the middle of a lot of land that isn't being used. And because of where Pandemonium is placed, I think that Pandemonium will be removed and shipped to Six Flags Over Georgia. I think that's the right call. They can put a new coaster there and draw in more crowds. I think that would work very well, and I see them doing that. I see them adding an axis in that place. Yeah, that's really all there is to it.
Up next is Six Flags New England, and this is probably the easiest one because I think we all know which coaster it's going to be, and that is Goliath, the huge Vekoma boomerang that everybody hates. And this coaster also suffers from a huge amount of downtime, so because of that reason, I really don't see this coaster sticking around much longer. And plus, this park already has a boomerang like a normal boomerang, so having two does not make any sense. So my guess is they'll probably relocate it to the Great Escape, let's just say. But yeah, Goliath is definitely going to be next on the chopping block. Back to California, there is Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, and this one's also pretty easy, because I can see one of two coasters leaving, either Flash Vertical Velocity or con. See, Flash Vertical Velocity already suffers from a huge amount of downtime, and this park already has a really good launch coaster in Superman Krypton Coaster, so I really don't see the need to keep Flash Vertical Velocity around. But there's also a con, but let's face it, Six Flags and the GP love SLCs, so I don't see con going anywhere anytime soon. So my final bet is going to be Flash Vertical Velocity, the Intimate Impulse.
Six Flags over Texas is another very interesting one. None of the coasters make much sense to leave. Minnie and Runaway Mine Train are classic rides, and I don't see them leaving. Judge Roy Scream is also a classic that I don't see going anytime soon. Lava Bora is a piece of crap, but it gets lines and is reliable in my experience, so I don't see that leaving yet either. I hate to say this so much because I love this coaster, but unless they do some work on it in the near future, I think Shockwave will be the next coaster to leave Six Flags over Texas. This is one of my favorite rides in the whole park, but most of the general public don't like it. It never has a line. It has always been a station wait, even when the park isn't crowded. My bad. Nobody really rides it, and although it doesn't have reliability issues, I don't see it sticking around much longer solely for low ridership. I cannot speak today.
Our next victim is Six Flags St. Louis, and there really is only one coaster that I could see leaving, and that is Ninja. This coaster is an old Aero/Vekoma coaster, and let's just say, people kinda hate it. From what I heard, this coaster has really janky transitions and a huge headbanger. This coaster also has low ridership, and I can imagine it's probably a maintenance nightmare. So in my opinion, it's time for Ninja to go to the scrapyard and get chopped.
Six Flags over Georgia is an interesting one. None of the coasters that make sense to leave actually make sense. Here, let me explain. I would say Blue Hawk, but they just gave it new trains and a repaint with a sleek blue and gray color scheme. Not saying they shouldn't get rid of it because it's a pile of crap, but it isn't going to be the next one to leave. I would actually say it'll probably be Georgia Scorcher. They could always convert it to a floorless coaster, but really I don't see that happening either. None of the coasters make sense to leave yet. Great American Scream Machine just recently got some track work done, and I think they're trying to preserve that as long as possible. Really only Georgia Scorcher makes any sense to me, and they'll probably just convert it to a floorless. It'll happen eventually, and it'll give them a new coaster in their, new coaster in their lineup. But yeah, to me that just makes the most sense. They already did it with Firebird, why not do it with Georgia Scorcher?
Up in Canada, there is La Ronde, and to some people, this is probably the worst Six Flags park. But that aside, let's get to the coasters that I can see going away. First up is the Monster, and this is an old racing wooden coaster, and to me, it looks pretty dull and boring. So if I was Six Flags, I'd probably RMC this, but since La Ronde isn't really the most invested park, they'll probably just tear it down and replace it with nothing. And there's also V Pierre, which that'd be kind of funny if Six Flags removed this after like a couple years in operation at La Ronde, because let's face it, this is Green Lantern and everybody hates this coaster with a passion, so this coaster is also very likely to leave. So my final pick will actually be Monster. Hopefully they RMC that, but it's most likely not going to happen. So my guess is that they'll replace it with some other relocated roller coaster. Maybe Goliath from Six Flags New England, I don't know, but my prediction is going to be Monster.
Six Flags Mexico is a park I have never visited, but taking a look at their lineup, only one coaster even makes sense to remove, and that's Boomerang. None of the other coasters make sense to get rid of, but that. So yeah, on to the next park. Frontier City is one of Six Flags' newest acquisitions. It was acquired in 2018. I think the next coaster to leave this really nice park will be Diamondback, the Aerodynamics Shuttle Looping Coaster. This ride suffers the most downtime, and I think it has 5 years left maximum. It's the only ride at the park that I haven't ridden before because it was down when I went, and it's very hard for them to maintain, which is why I see it leaving the park so soon.
Alright, Six Flags America, you're up next, and there really is one coaster that I think everybody wants to see an RMC conversion of, and that is Roar, the old GCI roller coaster. I've heard some pretty negative things about this roller coaster, So I think if they RMC that would be awesome, and it would give this park a standout coaster they desperately need. There's also Mind Eraser, the Vekoma SLC, and for some reason Six Flags loves these coasters, so unfortunately that coaster will stay for a while. So my final prediction will be Roar, and hopefully they RMC it because this park really needs a fresh new experience. And speaking of RMC, Six Flags Darien Lake. They really only have one roller coaster that I can easily see getting an RMC treatment, and that's Predator. I've heard some pretty mixed reviews about this roller coaster, and to me, I definitely think they should RMC it because this park also is in desperate need of something new and fresh. So I think the RMC Predator would be awesome. Well guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and Yellow. Wait, what? I forgot a park? Oh, that's right, I forgot Great Escape. My bad. Alright, Six Flags Great Escape. Let's see. I mean, there's the Boomerang, which they'll probably keep that, because it's Six Flags we're talking about. So, in my opinion, it'll probably be Steamin' Demon. This is an old aero looper coaster, and I've heard some pretty bad stuff about it, so I can imagine Six Flags saying goodbye to this coaster in the near future. Plus, this park should probably keep all their roller coasters because they kinda need it. Well guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, you can leave a like. If you have a thought or comment, please drop it down below. And if you're new here, please subscribe. It really helps out a lot. And a huge thank you to CoasterCraziness for being featured in this video. So once again, I will encourage you to check his channel out. But as for you guys, thank you so much, and I'll catch you next time on North Star Coasters.